Put a dog in front of a mirror and it barks at the stranger staring back. Put a cat in front of one and it either ignores it completely or tries to fight it. Neither animal understands what it's looking at. But hand a chimpanzee a mirror and something very different happens. It doesn't bark. It doesn't attack. It starts checking its teeth, which raises an interesting question. Do animals actually know that the creature in the mirror is them? Or are they just reacting to a strange, moving object that happens to copy their every move? For a long time, scientists assumed self-recognition was a purely human trait, something tied to language and complex thought. Then, in 1970, a psychologist named Gordon Gallup Jr. designed a simple test to check. He put an odorless dye on a chimpanzee's face, somewhere it couldn't see or smell directly, then gave it a mirror. If the chimp touched its own face while looking at the reflection, that meant something important. It understood the mark wasn't on the mirror, it was on itself. The chimps passed. Immediately, they started touching and examining the mark on their own faces. It became known as the mirror test, and for decades, almost nothing else passed it. Eventually, the list grew, but barely. Orangutans passed, bonobos passed. Gorillas turned out to be trickier. Some individuals passed clearly, while others seemed to avoid the mirror entirely, possibly because direct eye contact is considered rude in gorilla social behavior. Scientists still argue about whether that means gorillas lack self-awareness or simply have better manners than we gave them credit for. Then researchers tried something unexpected. They adapted the test for animals that don't have hands to touch a mark with. Elephants were given oversized mirrors, and one Asian elephant named Happy repeatedly used her trunk to touch a painted mark near her eye, a mark she could only have seen in the reflection. Dolphins, which also lack hands, were tested by watching how often they twisted their bodies to inspect marks made on their skin. They passed too. So did beluga whales, tested decades later using the same logic. That's where it gets strange. The pattern researchers expected was simple: big brain, high intelligence, self-awareness. But then a bird ruined the theory. In 2008, researchers placed a small colored sticker under the beaks of Eurasian magpies. The magpies scratched at their own throats while looking in the mirror, something they had no reason to do unless they understood the reflection was them. And then came the fish. In 2019, researchers tagged cleaner wrasse, a small reef fish with a mark that resembled a parasite. The fish scraped at their own bodies after seeing the mark in a mirror, then tried to confirm it by scraping their skin against rocks, behavior consistent with genuine self-inspection rather than random confusion. More recently, scientists have found similar hints in mice, manta rays, and even ghost crabs, animals with brains almost nothing like ours. Some researchers now believe the key ingredient isn't brain size at all. It might be social recognition. Animals that already rely on recognizing individual members of their own species may simply be applying that same skill to themselves. Not every animal passes, and plenty of researchers still debate what a pass actually proves. A mirror test can't tell us whether an animal has an inner voice, or memories, or a concept of the future. It only tells us the animal understood, even briefly, that the reflection wasn't another creature. It was them. So the next time your dog barks at its reflection, it's not being unintelligent. It's simply missing a specific kind of self-recognition that a chimpanzee, an elephant, a magpie, and even a small reef fish somehow figured out. And scientists still aren't entirely sure why.